Hello my friends, we're in Dalarna today. It's summer, the weather is beautiful. Somewhere else in the world it's a bit raining. This is the hotel where we're staying. I forgot my hair wax, but I don't care. And we're just gonna enjoy it. We're gonna spend this weekend with Ebba's sister. But out there's a lake, the Siljan. Meteorite landed here in Sweden and created this crater that I guess just became a lake. And this is our hotel. It's a beautiful hotel. This is the facade of the hotel. Also, I forgot to say the point of this video, which is that today we're gonna see a typical house from here, from Dalarna. And here we are! This is it! This is the house that I meant to show you today. It is a beautiful house. I hope the rain, or well, I should call it the typical summer Swedish weather, is not going to ruin the audio. This is going to be amazing. Like this, if you've never seen Swedish houses, if you've seen a few, this is just the best you can get. So originally, this house was built in 1600s, well at the end of 1600s. We have a list inside that I'll show you with all the owners. And I think the oldest building might be this. This was an old barn. Now it's of course renovated and it's made it really beautiful. There's some really nice details up there. You still see the woodwork. This is woodwork. Back in the time you would not fix it in any other way than just encastinating them. It would just fit perfectly in. They would be cut and they would fit so strongly that it would sit basically forever. You see it down here because there's absolutely no nails and nothing holding it. You can see that this one is a bit built later on because there's some nails on it. But also if you go out there, you have the main house, which is astonishingly beautiful. Like just look at the woodwork again, look at the colors, look at the amount of details. Like this is, oh, it's so beautiful. It's the best that Sweden can offer. The amount of colors, or contrasting colors, it's white, it's red, it's yellow, it's green. Ooh, the details, you're gonna put some curtains on it. Just put a yellow because it fit with everything else. So this was used originally in the 1600s, probably even before. The oldest record was the 1600s. And it was used just for cultivating. You would have orchards, you would have fruit. But of course the first thing you would do is that you would store the food that you produced, and you needed a cellar. So a humid cellar or a cold cellar. And this is what, it might be the oldest building, and it is underneath this building. And I'll show you really soon. Then they most likely started to build a barn in here. Probably this little thing that you see here. This entrance, this door, was one of the original buildings. And then out of that they started to build on the sides, and then build a little bit more maybe out there, and then a little bit more out here, and then a little bit more and more and more, and then at the end it got this typical structure that you would get in Swedish country houses. Basically buildings going around. And this one, which now is a guest house, was the first house that was built in the late 1800s. Now, most of the dates that we have are due to the fact that if you look at the buildings, you look at the house, you would have iron mountings, you would have this kind of hooks, and those can be dated depending on basically how they look like. This house was either built in the 1700s or it has been built using pieces from 1700. And these one are the pieces of iron that I told you. Those are from the 1600s. So this is when this house is dated 1600. This is one of the original doors in here. Like there's a lot of different spaces like this up here. I guess enough, a huge storage. Look at the roof up here. It's just beautiful. But to be honest, I don't know where to start because everything is cool. And stay until the end because this house has a huge surprise. It has to do with beer and a pub. Now this can get really dark in here. This was the house that I told you was probably built in the 1700s. Now it is a storage of different things. People are moving out from here. Everything is cut so that it would fit perfectly. This is how you would build houses before. No nails, nothing of nothing. So having your animals out here, you would have hay, they would eat here, there would be isolation from the ground, and then you would have the stairs up. And it's really dark, but look at the woodwork. Oh, this is astonishing. Gonna get up and probably try to put up a light from my phone. So it's pretty dark. This is the only source of light except for that one. So this could have been a storage. So in there is where the farmhands would live. So the servants, everybody that was not the owners, of course. They would live sometimes with the animals, but this is probably used sometimes as a storage, as a barn, as a hay barn. And this was the first house that was built in the 1800s. I have my son here in case you wonder where those sounds come from. And this is where the actual owners would live. This is the guest room, and in the guest room, this carpet is a reproduction of the oldest carpet that's been found in Dalarna. Really, really nice. And what I love about this house, there's so many like small space. You have space up here, you make a storage out of it. And the kitchen is filled with a lot of these details. And here you have the door, and in the door frame you have extra storage. And on the other side you have those small storage built in. This is probably a kitchen that's been here since the 1800s where they built the house. Everything is so beautiful in here. Look at the details. Here you have the cute tiny little bathroom with the shower. This is the upper floor. This is still the original woodwork. You see, look at those planks. It's not the most refined, but it's just, it has such a character. My kid's running downstairs. Look at this. This is how you would build houses before. You would have a center of heating downstairs, and then this would heat up, and would heat up also the room in the upper floor. And then finally, in the 1900s, beginning of 1900s, that house was built. And this is the list of people who lived here. And this is from 1663, it's the first recorded people. And here you see how it works in Sweden. You have Per Ersson, and then Per, the son of Per's, would be Erik Persson. And then again, this is Persson, the son of Erik would be Ersson. And then the son of Per would be Persson, and so on. And then they would have a daughter. So Erik had a daughter called Margareta. It was called Margareta Pers dotter. So that's the official record of people who owned the house. And still in the kitchen, despite having a relatively new kitchen, you will still have details there from the original house. This is a room with a living room out there, beautiful living room. And here we have the summer dining room, which is just beautiful glass veranda. You can be out there and you can be outside. Kids can play out here. Just walk up, grab a sandwich, walk down and play football. This is the second floor. Look at this. Look at this house. Like the amount of details that you have. Hello there. I have a shower. Is that the mirror shower? This is one of the smartest things I've ever seen. Why haven't I ever thought about this? Look at these rooms. Oh my god! Look at these bunk beds. I know there's a little bit of stuff here, but man, I think this house was built in the early 1900 or late 1800s. This is the main house nowadays, but look at this, like the amount of, this is all handwork. Beautiful details. You have a view on the lake out there, and just beautiful. Despite the bad weather today, this is still astonishing. The fact is, even the neighbors, I mean, this reminds me of my favorite places on earth, like the Austria or the Alps, the Dolomites, where every single house would be beautiful. Look at this wardrobes, they're basically built in. Everything is built in. It's just that details in the roof. This is stuff that you don't get nowadays. Who would have thought? Like, you get in a room, and you have a space like that. But yeah, let's build in a wardrobe like this. The fact that you can have two doors side by side, and one is like taller than the other, just because this was the main bedroom, just led to a smaller room. There was probably a storage. And those are the stairs to the basement. This is the basement of the house, with the entrance that I showed you before. But I told you that probably before this house there was basically a cold cellar where you would store your vegetables, you store eventually your meat, your fat, and it is in here. Just walking a few stairs down, and this is the cellar. Just look at the work. It's really cold in here, but it's also, there's absolutely no humidity. This is how it was built before. Look at the stonework up here. But I think it's time that I show you the quirky part about this house, the beautiful part about this house, the small detail. And maybe in a few months or years, this is going to be a place that you can visit. But in here, let's see if I can open it. Yes. Look at this. This is basically a pub in here. So you can serve your drinks in here. You can play some pool. There's a pool table. Just be looking around how beautiful these things are. You can just chill here with your friends. Come here, drink a beer, watch TV, maybe watch a football or whatever you're into. Football match. And to remind you that you're in Sweden, you just open this. And this is the view that you get. How many of you, I want to know, how many of you would love to have a place like this in their house? So that you can just be here with your friend, chill, watch your movies, spend your nights, just come here, do whatever you want to do, play some pool with your mates. Isn't this the best, the coolest thing that you've seen? And you would never expect it, because you see it from outside, it's just a barn. That's exactly what it is. Nothing more than that. Then you come in here. Everything is so cool. Like the floor. This is the original floor in the barn. You can still see it here. Look at the attention to detail. Look at this table. This is like an old wheel. Look, some hay, because why not? It makes perfectly sense. That was a beautiful house, but now we're 4 hours to Stockholm. Got some necessity food. It's just about driving, so let's start.